Welcome back, my friends, to the Moto Guzzi show that never ends. It's hello from Sasha, the Guzzi dog, and it's hello from him. So what are we going to talk about? Well, on a previous video, I showed you how to bust a bead on a motorbike tire, to wit, the front wheel of my Guzzi, because I thought I had a puncture. Well, it's a bit of a story, but anyway, I'd been out for a fairly brisk ride the night before to escape the heat, and because the old girl's got about 1100 miles on her now, I was opening her up a bit and letting rip a little, and all felt good. I came home, put her away, and then next afternoon I had to go to the post office, so I was pulling the bike out and I noticed the steering was heavy. So yeah, we got flat tire. It's okay, so puncture, no problem, let's get it fixed. So let's just blow it up, go down to the post office. But as fast as I was pushing air in, it was coming out, so no good. So yeah, I got the tire off and check the tire. This is the tire. It's a Shinko tire, not exactly my favorite brand, but it was put on new by the previous owner, so I figured I might as well wear them out. So when I was putting the bike back together, I didn't demount the tires and check the tubes, because I thought, well, they're new, he would have put new tubes in and all's good. I thought. How wrong I was. Anyway, so let's have a look at what I found. This is the tube out of that tire, and the first thing that struck me was these creases in the rubber. Well, that showed me that the tire and tube hadn't been mounted properly. The tube had been pushed in after the one bead of the tire had been mounted on the rim and hadn't been partially inflated. You notice that crease goes all the way around, and it's quite deep, quite bad. There's another one here. So that shows me that had been sloppily mounted. But even worse than that, where is it? I did mark it. Alright, there's my little arrow. There's my arrow, and can you see this? Can you see this? Actually, there's quite a big hole right there. So this tire was splitting along this mold line here. There's obviously lines in the mold when they were made. It was splitting along that line, and it's completely rotten there. Completely rotten. So I'm very, very happy that this thing decided to deflate in the garage here, in the workshop, and not out on the road. This would have given me a pretty violent tank slapper. I had one once on a Norton 750 when I was 18, 19, going up the M5 in England, which is a major motorway with 3 lines of traffic, and I was doing, let's say, slightly over the speed limit, and all of a sudden the bike went into a violent tank slapper, which was caused by a rapid deflation of the front tyre. I had traffic passing me on either side, quite unconcerned at my plight. I did find a gap in the traffic, or somebody actually gave me room, I don't know. But anyway, I made it to the hard shoulder and thought about laying the bike down, and then I thought about all the damage I'd have to repair, so I rode it right to the end on the hard shoulder. And that's what it was. Tire gone down. I'd stored the bike in somebody's garage where I had digs at the time, and picked up a small panel nail, and that was that. So I know what a tank slapper feels like, and it's not very bloody nice. So I'm not happy about this. And I thought, well, it's probably one of those cheap Chinese artificial rubber inner tube. So I had a good look at it, and no, it's not. It's not actually. It's a Pirelli. It's a Pirelli made in Italy. And look at the tyre size: 418, 410, 18. 410H 18 is the sort of size that was fitted to Norton Commanders, and that they're those slightly weird tyres. No metric on there, no metric sizes. So that tells me, and there's Pirelli with the original fitments on Moto Guzzi's at the time, both tyres and tubes. Made in Italy, that tells me that that tube is more than likely 50 years old. So I'm not happy. I am not bloody happy. I'm happy that I'm still alive, but I'm not very happy with the person that fitted that tyre. This sort of negligence could have killed me or somebody else. So for crying out loud, when you fit new tyres on a bike, if you don't know how old the inner tube is, for crying out loud, put a new one in. I don't know what they cost, really, $20, $25. It doesn't matter. Put a new bloody tube in, for crying out loud. I mean, I should have known better. The guy told me that he'd fitted new tyres, but he didn't tell me when, and it might have been some years ago. There is a date on these tyres, which is on the outer limits of what is acceptable, but the rubber is very soft still, very pliable, so I thought I'd use them. Obviously I'm having to rethink that one. And another job I'm going to do is, as soon as I got this fixed, as soon as I got this bugger fixed, I'll be taking that off and checking that. And it's a thing I should have done when I rebuilt the bike, and I wished I had have done it in the winter when I had more time. Now I want to use the old girl, and this sort of thing crops up. Well, it's a good job it did. I'm glad. I was going to go on a fairly long trip, 3,000 or 4,000 kilometers, and I'm glad this didn't happen halfway. Although I would have carried a spare tube with me, I always do, but this could have been a bit more serious than fixing a puncture at the side of the road. So yeah, I normally have a stock of tubes, and they're all good quality rubber. They're all brand name rubber. They're not no name Chinese or Taiwanese, although I think Taiwanese is probably okay these days. I only had 118, which was in the pannier of the bike. This one, which is a Michelin of the correct size. This is less than 2 years old. It's an 18-inch. So it would have been bought actually for the big Tiger, which has an 18-inch back wheel. So yeah, definitely less than 2 years old. Yeah. On a performance bike like the Tiger, I always put premium tires on. Now, the Guzzi, which doesn't go anywhere near as fast and doesn't impose such stress on the tires, I was thinking that maybe I don't have to go for premium tires. These are Shinkos, which I have mixed feelings about. Tried the Shinko off-road tires, and I had to take them off that bike because they were just appalling. These are a road pattern, and on the bike, the Guzzi feels great on them, no problem at all. So I was going to run them out. Obviously, I'm having second thoughts. I've only got one spare 18, which I'm going to be using. So tomorrow I'm going to be running into town and getting another 18 for this one, and I'm going to change that out before I go anywhere on that bike. So there we go. haven't got much more to say. All my spare tires here, these are all brand new. These are from Suzuki, and they are 17s, but they are made by Dunlop in Japan, and these are obviously Michelin's, and they're made in the US. So I'm confident about them. This one, I don't know where this came from actually. This is a 19, but it's one of those no-name brands. I can't find a name on it anywhere, so I don't really know where it came from. Oh, here we go, look. Yeah, 19-inch, made in China. So that's not going to be used on a road bike. I don't think it's going to get used at all. So there we are. Don't skimp. And although this is a Pirelli, and it would have been a premium tube in its day, that day was 50 years ago. It's done its job, and it'll be cut up now and used for rubber bands. These buggers, once they get bad, I always cut them so that I'm not tempted to use them again. So that'll be used for rubber bands and various things. So could have been talking to you from a hospital bed. I'm glad I'm not. That's all I've got to say about tires, is be very, very careful. So it's goodbye from him. It's goodbye from Sasha the Guzzi dog. Are you going to say goodbye, Sasha? You're going to say goodbye? You're watching for squirrels. Anyway. So keep the rubber side down. Not this kind of rubber. Better rubber. And keep the sunny side up. Take care of yourselves. Look after one another. Goodbye.